friends, we are actually going to do lesson 1-5 in our math, which is working on number grid puzzles. And I think in lesson 1-4 we practiced with the number grid. We talked about how if you go sideways on the number grid, you count by ones, and if you go up and down on the number grid, you count by tens. We're going to practice that a little bit more even today. So today's math lesson talks about using those patterns to solve an open response problem. That's just a fancy way of saying a problem that doesn't have an answer yet. There could be a bunch of different ways that we can answer it. But before we do that, we're going to go ding, 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 hopefully. All right, here we go. Here is our bell ringer. Oh, let me let in Valerie real quick. Here is our bell ringer. Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
Where's my tablet charger?
All right, let me mute that. Okay, thank you. Okay, so getting our brains ready. Let me see if there's a volunteer who can count by tens. Wait till you hear what I'm asking first. You're going to count forward by tens and backward by tens, starting at the number 30. You're going to start at 30. You're going to count up by tens or count back by tens. Jose, you want to give it a try?
Yeah.
Okay, start at 30. Let me hear you count.
30. Okay. 30. 40. 50. 60. 70. 80. 90. 100.
Okay, great. Now start at 30 and count back by tens.
20. 10.
Very good. And then 0, right? Nice job. Good job. Okay. Now this person is going to start at 50 and count up by tens. And I'm going to tell you to stop at a certain part. So somebody who thinks they can start at 50 and count up by tens, and then I will tell you when to stop. Rosemary, you want to give it a try? Start at 50.
Should I say 30? 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
Can you go a little farther? What would be 10 more?
110, 120.
Okay, good. Stop right there. Stop right there. 120. Who thinks that they could start at 120 and keep counting by fives?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Start at 120
I can do
and
that.
keep counting by fives. Angelina, you want to give it a try? Okay, go ahead.
120, 125, 130, 135, 140, 145, 150, 155.
Fantastic. And you could probably go on forever and ever and ever. Nice job. Now, last one. Here we go. Really getting those brains thinking. All right, brains. Here we go. You're going to start at 100 and count by tens. And I'll actually tell you where to stop, okay? I'll have you stop it a little bit. You're going to start at 100 and count by tens. Derek, you want to give it a try? Okay, start at 100. Go. Stop right there. And those of you that may not have heard, because he's a quiet speaker, it is sometimes hard to hear with our masks on. He said 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150. And then I told him to stop at 150. Let's see if somebody could start at 150 and keep counting by fives. Start at 150 and keep counting by fives. Alina, you want to give it a try?
155, 160, 165, 170, 175, 100.
That was good. That was a good try. So you said 150, 155, 160, 165, 170, 175, and then it would be 180, 185, 190, 195, and then it could be 200, and you can keep going, 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 going. Good job. Nice work. Okay, now, so today's message I want you to get out your math book. Get out your math book. And you're going to open it to page 3. Get out your math book and open it to page 3.
I already have it.
Open it to page 3. Page 3 looks like
This.
this.
Or like this.
Okay, open your math book up to page 3. It looks like this. Let me see if I have it on the next screen. I'm going to click forward. Nope. Okay, I didn't think so. All right. Open it to page 3. It looks like this. You will need a pencil, yes. You will need a pencil. Now, before you get started, I want you to hear the directions, okay? Because you're going to actually do the 2 problems that are on the page. Actually, no, we're not going to do the second one because the second one is a partner share. We're not going to do the partner share because we're not sitting with partners this year, but we are going to do number 1 after I give the directions, okay? So I want you to look at the pattern that's at the top of page 3, and I'm going to try to make it close for my friends here at home so you can see it. We have penny, penny, nickel, dime, penny, penny, nickel, dime, penny, penny, nickel, dime. Penny, I want you to write what would be the next coin in the pattern. Write it on your paper. What would be the next coin in the pattern? We have penny, penny, nickel, dime, penny, penny, nickel, dime, penny, penny, nickel, dime, penny. What would be the next coin in the pattern? You can write it right next to the pattern, or you can put it right next to the number 1 or right underneath the number 1. Either one works. Okay? When you have it ready, just lay your pencil down on your book. I'll know you're ready. Rosemary, do you have a question? Or are you just letting me know you're ready? If you're done at home, you don't have to hold it up just yet. Just sit tight with it for a second, okay? Because we're actually going to go over the answer in just a second. What we think it is, I'm just giving everybody a chance to think and answer. What do they think is going to come next in that pattern? All right, I see all the pencils are down here. Now, what do we think is going to come next in that pattern? Jake, what do you think is going to come next in that pattern?
Penny.
A penny would come next. Very good. Jake, do you remember how I could draw a penny or write a penny in my book to show that it's a penny? How can I show a penny in writing it in my book? See, I'll make it nice and close. Maybe you can tell by the ones. I can make a circle with what?
Ow.
Yep. So I can make a circle with a P inside. To show a penny, we have a circle with a P inside. The penny would come next. Very good. Now, how did you figure out what coin comes next? What did you do, or who would like to explain how you figured out what coin came next? Gwen, what did you do to figure out what coin came next?
I went through the pattern and I started doing the pattern again until I recognized, oh, it's a penny last.
Okay, good. So Gwen was looking at the pattern and she noticed what?
That if you just keep on going down the line and you look at it, the pattern, then it can automatically pretty much give you the answer.
Right, the pattern will tell you what the answer is. And if you look, you notice that there's 2 P's, 2 pennies, and then a nickel, and then a dime. And then 2 pennies again, and then a nickel, and then a dime. And then 2 pennies, and then a nickel, and then a dime. And then there was only 1 penny. So if you kept looking at that pattern and following that pattern, it can help you figure out what the answer is. So we're going to use that idea of looking at patterns to help us figure out what we're doing today for our math lesson. Okay, I'm going to click on my box here. And I'm going to click on the next box. Okay, now, ooh, can I make this nice and big? I cannot make this nice and big. It won't let me make it bigger. It's hard for you friends to see at home, I'm sure. All right, what I have right here, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw it on the board. Let me see if it gives me a new screen. Hold on a second. See if I can get a new screen here. Let me see if I can get a new flip chart. Is it going to open up a new one for me? A new flip chart. Here we go. There we go. Okay. I'm going to draw it on the screen so I can try to make it a little bit bigger. What we have here is we had 2 boxes. And then we have one in the middle this way, and it had the number 54 in it. And then we had a box over here, and a box over here, and a box down below, and another box down below, and a box to the left, and then another box to the left. We kind of looked like a cross of boxes, and it was only had the number 54 in it. So what we're going to do now is we need to figure out what are the missing numbers that go into this puzzle for our number grid. Now, when we did our lesson on Friday, for those of you that missed it on Thursday because Zoom wasn't working, we went over again on Friday, all of us did, we talked about how when you go across on a number line or a number grid, you count by ones, and when you go up and down on your number grid, you count by tens. And remember, friends at home, I said, don't worry, you have a number grid in the back of your book. You can always look at the number grid that's in the back of your book. And my friends here at school, not only do we have the number grid in the back of the book, we also have the number grid right there in our name tag too. So we can use both of those resources right now to help us figure out how to fill in the missing numbers. So I like to start with the easy ones first. I like to start with the counting by ones numbers first. I think that's a lot easier to count by ones than it is to count by tens to start out. So I'm going to start with the number 54. Now, I'm going to fill in the box that comes right after the number 54. So if I'm using the pattern of counting by ones, what number would come right after the number 54? Derek, if I'm using the pattern counting by ones, what number comes next? 55, very good. So I would put a 55 in the box here. So now I have 54, 55, still following that pattern. Valerie, what do you think would come after that? 56. 56, great job, 56. That was the easy part. Now, I'm going to do the kind of easy part, and I'm going to start at 54, and this time, because I'm doing the numbers that are in front of the number 54, I actually have to count backwards. But I can do that. I know how to count forwards and backwards. So I can start at 54 and I can count back 1 and have it be what, Kaden?
I'll count back 1 and it will be 53.
53, very good. And then if I start at 53 and I count back 1 again, then what number should I have? Yanessa, is your hand up? Okay. 52, nice job. Now I have the easy part filled in. 52, 53, 54, 55, 56. That's the super easy part. Now, I'm going to do the a little bit hard part. It's not super hard, it's just a little bit hard. Jose, is your hand raised because you want to answer? Okay, then hold on just a second. So now, when I go up and down on my number grid, if you look at your number grid, even if you're looking in the back of the book, if you're looking at your number grid, it's going up and down by tens. The only number that changes is the number in the tens place. So if I start at the number 52, and I'm going to try to get real close to my friends here. If I start at the number 52, and I want to go 10 more, I go down 1 row, and you can look in your number grid in the back of your book if you're here in the classroom, or you can look at the number grid on your desk. You have those 2 resources. if I start at 52 and I want to count down 10 more, what number am I on when I count down 10 more? Rosemary, what number do I land on? Oh, I'm sorry.
62.
I land on 62, you're right. Now, but I didn't want to look at 52. My bad. Backing up, I want to look at 54 because that's what's missing. I'm sorry. So now, let me look at 54. Here we go, nice and close to you. Looking at 54. It's not going to change too much. And I want to go 10 more, so I'm going to count down one row to go 10 more. What number do I land on now? If I wanted to go 10 more than 54, I land on what number? Yanessa?
65.
Not 65. Can you see where my pen is pointing? 64. Yes, I would fill in 64. Now, if I'm at 64 and I want to go 10 more, all I have to do is move down one row. Derek, do you think you know what the answer is? Jose, do you think you know what the answer is? Okay. What's 10 more than 64?
74.
Very good. 74. Now, before I go backwards at all, I want you to look at this. And I know, friends at home, it might be hard for you to see, but if you go into your back of your book, you can look and you can count from 54, down a row to 64, and down a row to 74. I want you to notice something. There's one thing that stays the same in those numbers no matter what. What stays the same in those numbers no matter what? 54, 64, 74. What stays the same in those numbers, Yanessa? Yeah, the 4 stays the same. The number that's in the ones place, the 4 doesn't change at all. Because I'm not counting by ones, am I?
No.
I'm counting by tens. So because I'm counting by tens, the only number that needed to change was the number that was in the tens place, which would either be the 5, the 6, or the 7. Because I'm counting by tens, the only number that needs to change is either the 50, or the 60, or the 70. Now, did I have to start at 54 and go 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64? Did I have to do that?
No.
No. And you shouldn't have to do that either, because for right now, while our brains are still getting used to math, because it's the beginning of the year, while our brains are still getting used to math, use your resources like your number grid to help you. Because anymore, we're not going to count all those boxes. Because pretty soon we're going to start using some really, really, really big numbers. We're not going to have boxes to count them, or enough fingers to count them for that matter.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you have a lot of extra fingers hiding somewhere. You won't be able to count all your fingers to get to your answer, okay? So the only thing that needs to change when we're going up and down is the number in the tens place. The 4 is going to stay the same. So use that number grid, looking at it. Now I need to fill in the numbers that are missing above or backwards 10 from 54. So if I start at 54 and I go back up or back 10, what number should I be on, Logan?
You should be on number 44.
44, very good. So if I go back 10 from 54, I'm on 44. What if I go back 10 from 44, Caden? What number should I be on?
Back from 44.
If I go back, not 43, I'm going back 10. See, I'm going by 10. 74, 64, 54, 44, Use your number grid either in the back of your book or on your desk to help you find this answer. Use those resources that you have right in front of you. If I go back one row up above 44, I'm going back 10. What number should I be on? 34. Very good. So when we go up and down in the number grid, we count tens. Do I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? No. No, I just jump 10 more or I jump 10 less. When I go side to side on the number grid, I go by ones. Jose, do you have a question? Okay. Now, let me see if I can get back to my original screen here. Let me see what's next on this. Okay. Now, I have another one. I'm going to try to make it bigger. Again, let me go back to the screen that I was writing on. Actually, I will open up a new flip chart again. This time, let me get a pen here. This time, I have the number 78 in the middle. 78. And I have two boxes off to the one side of 78. Oh, that's not a very good box, but it'll work. And I have two boxes off to the left side of 78. And I have two boxes above 78. And I have two boxes below 78. Let's see if we can figure out the missing numbers for 78. Now, you can use the number grid in the back of your book. You can use, if you're here in the classroom, the number grid that's on your desk. Let's figure out the easy ones first. Let's start at the number 78, and let's go to the right and figure out what's going to go in that space right after 78. And I'm going to change colors just for fun here. Let me make it red this time. Okay, if I start at 78, I think that's going to be red, and I go one more than 78. Kinsley, what's one more than 78? Are you able to unmute yourself? Kinsley, what's one more than 78? Oh my goodness, I think your mute is frozen. That's okay, Kinsley, I'll come back to you. Jake, what's one more than 78? 79, very good. So I would put next to the number 78, I would put 79. Then I want to go one more than 79. If I go one more than 79, Alina, what number is it?
80.
80, very good. That was the easy part. Now, starting at 78, I'm going to go back one, because I'm still going sideways. I'm going to go back one. So I'm going to go one less than 78. Inessa is what? 77, very good. And if I go back one from 77, Valerie, what's one less than 77?
76.
76, fantastic. Nice job, friends. Good work. That was the easy part. Now, the little bit of harder part. When we go up and down on the number grid, how much do we go by when we go up and down on the number grid? We go by tens, right. So let's do the easy part first. I'm going to go 10 more than 78. Jose, are you okay? Okay, but it doesn't need to be so dramatic. Thank you. What's 10 more than 78? Angelina, what's 10 more than 78? Oh, don't count by tens. Don't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look at your number grid. Use your number grid as a resource. If you are on 78, make it a real close for my friends at home. If you are on 78 and you go 10 more, all you have to do is go down one row on that number grid. If I'm going 10 more, going down that row on that number grid, Gwen, what number am I going to be on? Oh, let's see if a friend at home knows.
88.
Oh, Gwen's got it. 88.
And Mrs. Tucker, I also have a question. Were we supposed to do the page that you just did, or we would?
You don't have that page in your book. No. It would be a piece of paper that I would normally hand out to you, but we're really trying not to touch paper this year. So I didn't bother to make it, I figured we could just do it on the board together, okay? But good question, thank you. Now, if I went from 78 to 88, and I want to go 10 more than 88, Angelina, what is it going to be?
Which number starting again?
I went from 78 to 88, and now I need to go 10 more. Look at the number grid. Use your number grid. Find 88 and go 10 more. Can you find the number 88 and go 10 more? All right, Derek, if you find 88 and you go 10 more, it's going to be what? 98. Angelina, I'm going to come back to you because I want you to still make sure you're finding the numbers. So, now I've done the easy-ish part. Now, the most hardest part, I think, is to count backwards by 10. But if you're using your resource and you have that number grid in front of you, it's really not that hard right now. Because right now we're just getting our brains ready to think about it. So if I'm starting at 78, Angelina, and I'm counting back 10, all I have to do is go up one row on the number grid, and it's what?
60.
68. Fantastic, Angelina. Nice job. And if I'm starting at 68, and I need to go 10 more, where am I going to be at this time, Kaden? I'm sorry, I need to go 10 back from 68. Where should I land?
10 back from 68.
I'm starting at 68, and I'm going 10 left or 10 back.
10 left or 10 back.
All I need to do is go up one row on the number grid above 68.
Above 68.
You can find 68 on your number grid. Put your finger on it. Right here. 68. Now, go up one row from 68 and you land on what? 58. Very good. 58. When we go side to side on the number grid, we count by 1. When we go up and down on the number grid, we count by 10. Do I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 each time? No. I do not have to count it each time. I'm training my brain to remember. Up and down, I only jump 10 more. 58, 68, 78, 88, 98. Okay? The only thing that changes is the number in the tens place. All right, let me click back to my main screen here. Let's see what's next with this one. Dwing! There we go. Now, oh, we didn't do the speech bubble part, and that's okay. Normally what we would do, actually we wouldn't normally do this right now anyways, because I usually like to have us just talk out loud about it, which is already what we've been doing. Normally what we would do, though, as we get farther into the school year, is you would have to write in words how you got to your answer. Now, today, because I was doing it with you, I was showing you how we got to our answer. But if we were practicing this and doing it all by ourselves, we would have to be able to say in words how I got to my answer. So if I went back to where I just did my last one, let me see if I can find the last one I just did, where I filled in starting with 78. When I do my open response, I would have to write in words how I did got the numbers that I did. So I would say, using words, I would actually write in sentences, and I'm going to write it up here on the board. I started at 78 and counted by ones to get 79 and 80. Then I started at 78 and counted back ones, and counted back by ones to get 77 and 76. It's a lot of writing, isn't it? But I'm not even done, because then what did I do? After I counted by ones, what did I do next? Did we forget already what we did after we counted by ones? What did we do after we counted by ones? Logan?
Counted by 10.
Right. Then I started at 78. At 78, and I counted up by tens. To get 88 and 98. And then last, what did I do last? What did I do last, Gwen? I started where? Last I started at 78. And what did I do to get the last two numbers? Did I count up or did I count back? Right. I started at 78 and I counted back. Oops, back. That's a horrible looking back. To get 68 and 58. That's a lot of writing.
That is.
But in second grade, we do a lot of writing. That's why we're practicing how to do it together now. Because we don't start this a lot of writing stuff for another couple units yet. So don't worry yet. We will practice how to do it over and 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 over until the dinosaurs come home. And then we can do it by ourselves.
Yay.
Okay? So what we just need to remember is going across on the number grid, we go by ones. Going up and down on the number grid, we go by 10. Are there any questions?
Oh.
Questions? No questions? Question, Logan.
This number line's weird because
That is not a number grid. That's something totally different that's in the front of your book. That's why I'm having you look at the number grid that is in the back of your book. That's something totally different. When we get into adding and subtracting, then we will use that one. That one's a totally different one. Okay.
Oh, I know.
So if there's no questions here and there's no questions for friends at home, then I'm going to say toodly doodles for now, okay? So toodly doodles for now, friends at home. I will see you later this afternoon for closing circle, okay? Bye. And then my friends at home, or friends here in school, let me stop this real quick and we can